Hi, everybody. It's great to be here tonight with such a live and vibrant Menopausal. So allow me to get a little bit political here for a minute. Did anyone watch the debate a few weeks ago between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump? Okay, that's what I thought. I think the general consensus was that Kamala Harris won hands down. Someone even said that she was the best presidential debater ever. To me, she's the type of person who should probably be running the free world. We'll leave it at that. But then, on the other hand, I've been thinking about so many of the women who I see as a psychiatrist and who I know who are going through perimenopause and menopause. And as you've heard already tonight, many of us in midlife are struggling with bad insomnia, brain fog, forgetfulness that impacts us at work. And many more are struggling with anxiety, intense rage, and deep depression. It then made me think, what can we do to help more women feel like they can live up to their full potential? And how can we reduce the burden of mental health concerns that strike so many women in midlife? My name is Ariel Dalfen, and I'm a psychiatrist who's spent over 20 years of my career helping women with mental health issues across reproductive life stages. That's a mouthful, but it means people going through fertility, pregnancy, postpartum, and perimenopause and menopause. When I started my career, the focus of my large Toronto clinic, based at a large hospital, was helping women with postpartum depression. We saw women many months, usually, after giving birth, struggling with depression and with anxiety and with other mental health concerns. But over the 20-year period, a lot changed due to the extensive public speaking and extensive educating of healthcare providers that my colleagues and I did. By the time I left the hospital to start my own clinic, BRIA, in 2022, there was a huge change in awareness and in the conversations and in the patients we were seeing. In fact, most of the people we saw were very early in pregnancy or even planning pregnancy because people were aware, their healthcare providers were more aware, and treatments had come a really long way. Now, I'm on a mission to do the same with mental health issues in perimenopause and menopause. How am I doing this? Well, starting with BRIA in 2022, we have been focused on this mission. We're already seeing conversations like tonight around menopause explode, and I'm really thrilled to contribute by talking about mental health issues in midlife. Tonight, I want to talk to you about 4 questions that I want you to help me spread, and I want you to ask yourself about mental health issues in perimenopause. And let's all follow the model of those multi-level marketing schemes like Avon and Tupperware that many people in this room are probably familiar with. So think about this for yourself and help me spread the awareness. So first of all, ask yourself, what is my mental health history? This is really important because those with a history of mental health problems are at a higher risk of having problems again in the menopause transition and in menopause. In fact, 60% of people who've had a mood and anxiety disorder in the menopause transition have a psychiatric history. We know that. Also, about 50 to 70% of women in the perimenopause have several symptoms, but maybe not a full disorder, whether that's moodiness, anxiety, intense irritability, intense anger. But with the history, these can be more serious, more persistent, they can add up, and they can really add up to make more of an impact on someone's functioning. So what can you do if you have a history? Don't ignore it, is my first advice. It's real, get help sooner than later. And to start with, use similar treatments that worked for you in the past, whether that's talk therapy, whether that's medication, usually a combination of both those. Put your plan into place really quickly and act on that. Second question, is my mental health sensitive to my hormone shifts? So if you've been affected by hormones at other stages, such as in pregnancy or the postpartum period, or if you have mood changes around your periods, the answer is probably yes. What we understand now is that many women have a significant vulnerability to hormonal fluctuations. So what that means is that when estrogen and progesterone hormones change, they impact serotonin and other brain chemicals that lead to mood and anxiety issues. So it's that actual fluctuation in hormones that lead to the fluctuation in the brain chemicals that lead to the experience of mental health symptoms. And because perimenopause is characterized by extreme seesaw-like hormonal fluctuations, if you've suffered in the past, chances are you may be suffering again. But what can you do? Well, early in perimenopause, you can maybe take hormonal contraception, or you can maybe take menopause hormone therapy. I know it might sound counterintuitive, but balancing out and regulating your hormones can go a long way towards preventing that fluctuation. And there are also other mental health medications that you may need that can be helpful. Third of all, ask yourself, are these physical symptoms that I may have in perimenopause impacting me? And if you're like 90% of women, you are likely impacted by some bothersome physical symptoms at this stage. But the key here is that not only are these pesky physical symptoms, but they can also take a major toll on your mental health. Let's think about it. If you're not sleeping because you're having severe night sweats or hot flashes, you're going to feel crappy the next day. It's going to be hard to focus at work. You're going to feel really irritable. If you have hot flashes during the day, that can make you feel more anxious. It can be really distracting and really awkward to deal with. Or if you have changes to your sexual organ or your sexual functioning, that might impact your sex drive, your relationships. And I could go on, but I won't. But suffice it to say that having a lot of physical symptoms can lead to mental health concerns if they are left untreated. Of course, it's important to emphasize that not all symptoms or ailments in midlife are due to perimenopause or are due to hormones, but some are. So it's really important to get help. What can you do? Well, we've all heard about all the lifestyle suggestions that are thrown at us. Maybe they're helpful, maybe they're not. But there are things like menopause hormone therapy and even non-hormone therapy treatments that can really help these underlying physical symptoms. There's good data to support them. They're safe, they're effective, and they can really help. Fourth, ask yourself, what other challenges am I coping with in life right now? We've already heard from some of the other speakers what some of these might be. And it's really important to acknowledge how much change and potential stress there can be at this life stage. As we get older, it's really common to deal with all kinds of personal identity issues, whether that's aging in our society, our bodies changing, our looks changing, how we're looked at in the workplace, how we're looked at by society, what's happening in our relationships. There's so much going on internally, psychologically, and with our relationships. And then we may be dealing with parents who are aging, with kids who are maybe leaving, or maybe they're not leaving, and we'd hope they would be leaving. So there's a lot going on. And usually it's not just one of these things happening, but many things are happening all at once. What can you do? Well, the best thing is to talk, usually, whether that's through formal talk therapy or talking with friends or with people here tonight or online supportive communities. Talking and getting support is extremely important. So remember, ask yourself these 4 questions. Do I have a mental health history? Am I sensitive to hormone changes? Do I have physical symptoms? And what other challenges am I coping with right now? And tell your friends to ask themselves these questions too. It's so important to address the web of physical, psychological, relationship factors to unravel and treat mental health issues in midlife. Then we can all move forward towards feeling good and running our own worlds, as big or as small as they may be. Thank you.